That's cool.
Is preparing the live stream in the meeting, setting up meeting for YouTube Live. I'm watching this thing. I'm watching it. Hey, everyone. I hope everyone's doing all right. So, hold on, guys. There we go. Hey, everybody. I hope everyone's doing great today. I'm looking at the camera here as we are live for a Planetary Diary. Decided to do a special edition tonight. Um, and we are doing a live QA with the cast of A Planetary Step. I'm your host, Eric the Smoke Moran, and one of the main creator of A Planetary Step, which is an Orville fan series. So some people are just about to lock on and getting us and everything else. So there's a lot of stuff going on at the same time. And it's our first day trying a new program for everyone to get into the swing of everything. Today, we're going to be introducing the full cast, and you're going to get some insight from them and what their personalities are like. I'm going to go around the room, introduce each one of our guests. And like I said again, this is people were looking for the link, and I'm like, oh man, wait a second, I have forgot to transfer the link and everything else. So what I'm doing is, guys, if you have time, if you go onto the YouTube, my YouTube channel, the Smoke 007, you can log on and you'll see my thing is live right now, and we are going to share it with the masses because we are live right now. And people are like, oh, wait, I didn't know they were live. So hold on. I'm copying it, and then there we go.
Here.
So I'm sharing it with the masses because I know some people are like, hey, are you guys on right now? And I'm like, yes. So here we go. Before we even start, Orville Nation, shout out to Orville Nation. Thank you, PJ, for tuning in. Live. This is our first time using Zoom, so we're playing it off the cuff and help spread the word and all that good stuff. I'm going to be introducing the cast and everything else. Shout out to Orville Nation, everyone. Everyone, say hi to
Woo.
Orville Nation.
Hi, Norville. Orville.
Hey.
Little Nation.
PJ is the man. PJ is the one who runs Orville Nation. Um, so basically, we are about to start. So, everyone, I am your host, Eric the Smoke Moran, or Eric Moran. Um, Normally, this is normal the time when I have a new episode of Planetary Diary. I decided after numerous of episodes, I decided to do a live one-on-one with the cast of A Planetary Step. And we're going to go around the room. We're going to say hey to everyone because we got the main cast here. At least I think all the main cast is here. Main cast is here? Yeah.
Yeah.
Main cast
Yeah.
is here.
Check.
And so
Yeah.
with some additional guests. So first, we go around the room. We have our head of navigation, Lieutenant Thomas Hall, who's played by the one and only Magnus Hammerhand. Welcome to the show, Magnus. Say
Hey, great
how
to
you
be
doing,
here.
Magnus?
Great to be here. Thanks for having.
Yes. Next up, we have the doctor of, or our head medical chief officer of the USS Eisenberg, uh, Dr. Lori Green, played by Adia Moran. Hello.
Hello,
Hi, how are you?
everybody. Great to see you.
All right. Next up, we have my head of security for the USS Eisenberg. We have Lieutenant Val Dorr, played by the one and only Kelly Davis. What's going on, Kelly?
Hello, everybody.
All right. Next up, you can't have a ship without having a first officer. And my first officer who will be called, let's say he's the Don Juan, he is the man of the Planetary Union. I am proud to announce this gentleman here. He is Commander Gabriel Williams, played by William J. What's going on, William?
Oh, Captain, my captain, thank you for that introduction.
Next up, in order to have a good ship running at all times, you need to have an efficient chief of engineering. Not only is she the chief of engineering, she is the designer, one of the designers of the ship. And that person is the one and only, are y'all ready for this? The one and only, we like to call her TJ, but she is Lieutenant Commander Jess Tyler, and she is played by Jamila Howard.
Woo!
Guys, how are you?
What's going
Thank
on?
you.
What's going on?
Excited
All right.
to be here.
Now, we were introducing the main cast, but not only are we introducing the main cast, we are introducing who I like to call, she was the first captain of Planetary Step, and she was featured in the pilot episode for Planetary Step. Most of you guys have seen her. You've seen her pictures everywhere. You know, you've seen her face dawn, like the face of Planetary Step for a while and everything else. She is Captain Lorraine Emmett, played by the one and only Joe Colton.
Hi, everybody.
So, welcome, welcome, welcome. And we got the man, the myth. This gentleman here, he is the owner, CEO, the man who put it on the map of J1 Studios, J1 Con, VT Heroes, all the kind of anime you could ever imagine. When you think of anime on the East Coast, the first thing comes to mind is this gentleman here. He is our main director of our series. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the man, the myth, legend, Jason Richardson. Hello, Jason.
Jason.
And in case you guys didn't know, I play as Captain David Gerald, the captain of the USS Eisenberg. So, guys, thank you all for coming out.
Thanks for having us.
Yes.
Thank you for having us.
Happy to be here.
First time for all of us to be together. The first time all of us, not only are being together, but the first time we've all are together as a crew. And also I wanted to bring Joe along because Joe has been with us for the ride, and she's going to be playing a lot of crucial stuff right now. I'm getting a lot of feedback here.
I
Everybody's like,
was gonna say, don't tell them. Like, let it be a secret.
That's all. Calm
Suspense.
down, calm down. I'm hosting, young lady. You can relax. Relax.
Am I
basically-
allowed to geek out of the background that Smoke is at? That's the first time when you made this picture that we got to see all of us in uniform all together in that nice kind of a collage, and I was excited.
Oh, definitely.
Yes. You
Oh,
know,
that's
so
cool.
It's
Super
pretty.
cool.
it's a thing where people are like, oh my God, you know, you guys are doing it live and everything else, and we're all together. So
We're special
shout
that way.
out
So
again,
fierce.
shout out to Orville Nation because they're basically been a major supporter of what we've been doing from the ground up, and I just been really like happy that, you know, was able to put this together with you guys, and I couldn't do it without you guys, and so you know, it's something. It's really something. So we're gonna get into deep diving into some of you, what you guys, your characters, telling us a little bit about what you're gonna be doing on the show. Again, we're not giving away any spoilers. We're gonna be also talking with Jason to talk about, because we just finished filming episode 1, and basically we already got episodes, so a couple episodes already, scripts are done, and we are already working on storyboards, and we start setting up the film and everything. So I want to go around the room. First off, starting with you, Magnus. So how did you feel about being a part of this production?
I love it. It's get to hang out with my friends and do an awesome show. I mean, what couldn't you like about that? Great material, and it's a great fun universe to be able to play around with.
And what about you, Adia?
Actually, is pretty much piggybacking off of what Magnus says. It's I'm really hoping to explore more of my in-depth character for Dr. Lori Green. Just some of the journeys that she's going to take this particular season on the show, and also too being able to just have fun and be creative for a change. And that's it's huge for me. I've always admired all types of sci-fi, and the Planetary, let's see, how can I put it? It's a huge leap from what I would do on an everyday basis. So this is why I'm so enthusiastic about joining the cast in the first place, because I'm really excited about it. And I'm so happy to be a part of the cast with this crew, this wonderful crew that I'm with, to be honest.
All right. So, like, before I even go any further with more of the cast members, Magnus, you want to talk more about your character? With you playing as Thomas Hall, give the audience a little something about your character.
Well, some might say he's hyper positive. Loves everything. Everything's a new experience, and can't wait to get out there. He's a real go-getter. In the sense that he wants to experience everything. There's no such thing as a bad day. It's just a good day waiting to happen.
So I like that. So Kelly, can you talk more about your character to the audience? And because a lot of people are curious, they noticed you had a unique look. Can you elaborate on who you're going to be playing as in on the series?
Well, Valder is the only alien of the main cast, and he's dealt with some adversities. He's from a planet called Serenus. I'm super pumped up to see what his journey will be, because he has faced some challenges, and I'm curious to see how he develops and how this plays out with the show, because I'm just super pumped up to be a part of it. So I'm it's going to be really interesting to see how his character develops. Can't give away too much.
Okay. Jamila.
Yes.
Now, people are going to be meeting you for the first time in episode 1. So tell us about JT.
JT is you can't play. She doesn't play when it comes to her baby, the Eisenberg. So she's tough when it comes to that, but she's also a sweetheart, and she's very caring and passionate about the ship and her crew, and want to make sure that she keeps the ship safe, so everybody stays safe and operational.
And what else? What else can you tell us about JT?
That she's hardworking, sassy, smart, fun.
Okay. And that's bouncing off from you to William. Can you tell the audience a little bit more about who you're going to be playing as far as being the number 1 of the ship?
Well, like you kind of said already, my character is he takes his role as first officer of the ship very seriously. He's got a bit of a professional edge to him. Think about some of the famous first officers of sci-fi and some of the more well-known ones, and a little bit of we took a little bit of here from other famous number 1s and other characters, and kind of some of those characteristics are what went into this. So I'm just happy to really kind of play something like this, because it really just goes to those type of archetypal kind of sci-fi characters that I grew up really enjoying. Like you got your Rikers, you got your Kirks, you got a little bit of this and that. It's just really fun to bring it all together and give it my own take, my own little spin on it.
Now, with Joe, with you being a lot of people know that this is the main cast, but Also, people don't know that we're going to be having a lot of in-studio guests. People are going to be coming, going to be regular supporting cast members.
Mhm.
Joe, you're unique. You're a unique position because not only you're a captain, but you're going to be periodically coming back and forth on the series.
Yes.
Talk about your character. Talk about why Lorraine is so unique for the series, or what you feel that she can bring to the show.
So she is a very close friend of David's, and she and he have a unique bond where there is like not no secrets, but no, like we're very open with each other. Like as you saw in the pilot, I was very forward and like straightforward with him, and I like didn't pull any punches, and like I give it to him straight. There's no like I'm not sugarcoating anything. I never sugarcoat anything. And so it'll be interesting to see the development of that character and how that goes. I love that I am coming back. Being a captain is unique. I got promoted in the first pilot. So we'll see how that goes. She's a kind of a badass, but also is I don't know if she has a funny side yet. I think that it'll develop into why she is so serious and so committed to the Planetary Union. So you'll see.
Now, I'm going to be going back and forth with you guys on different things as far as what you feel about the series. I know you guys have watched the Orville, but I'm going to get to Jason real quick. Jason, with you being director, you already kind of know what's going to be coming up and some of the stuff we're doing. What about you, and what do you think of how you think the series is going? How do you feel about the series so far on a whole?
I want more horses involved, but because I can't have horses right now because of all this pandemic stuff. You know, horses, they carry I don't know.
Yeah, you
Horses
go
are the
off the
source
rails,
of
like, what?
5G.
They're the source. It wasn't bats, it was horses. Some guy was riding a horse, and then next thing you know, everybody got COVID. That's how that happened.
I thought you gave birth to a baby. Like you helped a lady give birth, and that's how this all happened.
Yeah. I did.
Maybe it was a horse. A lady horse.
It was a horse. She was a centaur, actually. But I'm trying not to say too much of anything. Just know that there is going to be differences in episodes. There's going to be, you know, like the show, you have your funny moments, you have your serious moments. There's gonna be a little bit of everything. I know a lot of people from Jump expect it to be a comedy show, but now the series is way more than that. So that's where we're gonna start off with, you know, in that vein. So there you go. Look at this hat, though. Hat.
Both the hats.
Right.
I like to say that with the series, like Jason said, while it's in the same vein of the Orville, it's going to take on its own thing. Definitely going to still have a sense of humor. Reading some of the scripts and what we got coming up, oh my God, it's going to be hilarious and all. At the same token, too, you know, especially right now, it's something that we all need. This is about having fun, not only as actors and actresses, but to be able to bring out these characters to life that's mimicked on some of our personalities in real life. So that's what's going to make the characters flow a lot better when reading scripts, going over stuff. So it's a lot of things that go hand in hand. So that's important. Let me ask this to you guys who are science fiction fans. What do you think that is crucial to make a series work? Whether it's been Star Trek, we've seen tons of different sci-fi shows. What do you hope that our show brings to the table that other shows have in the past, but need to start bringing back again?
Definitely. I think right now you're seeing pretty much what I think is the basis for any good sci-fi, and that's a strong cast of characters. Because, I can't remember if it was Harlan Ellison or one of the other great sci-fi writers who said you can only expect a audience to accept one big sci-fi idea, and then everything else has to be built around the character. Like, so you have that one premise, and then everything else has to be, you have to believe the people involved in the situation. Because if you keep getting distracted and saying, well, how can a black hole act like that way? If you're thinking about really all the little nuance and sciences, then the story failed, because you're supposed to be invested in what the people are doing, what the story is. So, and that's what I'm really excited about. That's what, Star Trek has always had in abundance, like great characters, even all the way back in the 60s. It wasn't all about like the fact that Kirk, Spock, and McCoy had to deal with flying amoebas on strings. It was about they were in danger, and wanted them to be safe. So that's what I think is the most important thing. And that some sci-fis tend to get confused and lost in all the special effects and all the things that they can do. They forget what they should do.
Who else wants to jump in on that one?
I think
I kind of go along with. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
that's okay. I was thinking the same thing that William was saying. The character balance and the chemistry is extremely important in a show such as this, because you're right. If you continue to have it, everything being surrounded by one character, it's going to come out like this, real flat, and it's going to it makes it difficult for the storyline to be fleshed out and to be more interesting, because you want to start off like this and kind of make it expand naturally. And so I see that with that, since I've had a chance to peek at the script, since I do overlook some of the writings that have come down. But of course, I can't say too much. But it's great, and the scripts that I have seen so far for upcoming episodes look fantastic. So hopefully we'll keep that going.
Before we go any further, we had an additional guest. I was happy to get him at the last minute. He was one of our head writers, and he was gracious enough to come on tonight to join
Lex
us.
Luthor?
And I'm happy to introduce everyone. One of our head writers for Planetary Step, Brian Lessick. Welcome to our panel. How are you doing?
Going on?
Hey.
How we doing?
All right, good. So Brian, we
well?
were introducing everyone from the cast and everything. Wanted to get some insight from the cast members. So I'm going to jump right to you so you can get right into the mix of it. As one of the writers on the show, because like you just sent me one of the scripts and I'm looking over it. What do you hope to bring to the series as someone who's watched the series and also as a fan of good writing and good programming for films and TV? What do you hope to bring to the series?
I mean, first of all, I love the way the show's done, just the way it blends real solid science fiction with genuine comedy. Neither thing feels like it's crowbarred in to the other, and it blends so well. So I'm really trying, when I write, I want to be cognizant of that balance. Because before I ever watched The Orville, I used to ask people, because it's Seth MacFarlane, I used to ask, be like, well, what is it, like a spoof? Is it like Naked Gun? Is it just a comedy based in space? And they're like, no, it's a really solid sci-fi series that really follows the tradition of Star Trek and sci-fi like that. But like the comedy is really organic and it really works well, and it doesn't muddy the message. And I'm like, okay, that's really cool. So when I'm writing this, I really try to keep that in mind. I really want people to have fun with it, but I think that we can continue in that tradition of the Orville and make it fresh and fun for everybody.
Now, Kelly, you were talking about also for sci-fi. What did you think about it, and what was that you wanted to say on it?
Well, I love the Orville. I think it's a great show, and I think what I like about our cast is that hopefully that you have a variety of characters that the fans are going to want to connect with and want to know more about. So also, when you have great storytelling too, that goes a long way. So, I think it's going to be something that's going to be special. I think it's going to be really special.
Okay.
No
And,
pressure.
Always playing at the end of the episode, but we'll try.
and you guys can jump in at any time. Magnus, what about you? What do you think?
Well, what I'm hoping for is it to show more of a positive take on sci-fi, because so much sci-fi nowadays is so dystopian. There's no, the characters get brought down, and it just keeps getting darker and darker. And especially with the Orville, even in their darkest times, there's always this, bright hope somewhere. Oh, there's a chance that this could happen. You can reverse the polarities on this, and it's fixed. So I'm really, that tongue-in-cheek, positive, hey, we have the problem, we're gonna fix this, and everything's gonna work out in 45 minutes. Awesome.
And time for a B plot too.
Yeah.
So let me ask you guys this, and any of you guys can jump in at any time. I'm just going to start throwing you questions. What did it feel like putting on the uniform for the first time?
Felt like a little kid geeking out.
Yeah.
My first uniform, and not so much. My second uniform,
Yeah.
that was awesome. I felt like I
Yeah.
was part of the cast then.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can definitely say my first uniform was let's just say I kind of had a Hulk thing going with that because it was just way too small.
I'll be honest and say it wasn't when I put the uniform on. It was when we did publicity shots, and like the one you have behind you, and I saw myself in the uniform. That's when it clicked on me that this is going to be something pretty nice and pretty fun.
For
Yeah,
me,
like
it was when I put it on, but then when I saw like some of the behind the scenes where Jason and I were just looking at like recaps and like seeing like what was filmed that day, I got like really giddy and I was like, yes, this is gonna be so amazing.
Yeah, I got real giddy when I saw the first all our promos put together in the one shot. And that's when I was the most excited. And I was like, this is happening. Look, we all look so awesome. And
Yeah, because can I just like say like not just in sci-fi in general, not just in terms of storytelling, but if you look at the uniforms, all uniforms nowadays in sci-fi shows, they tend to have like a lot of black. Even Star Trek kind of fell into that one. But then you look like at behind Eric, you see all those blues and bright oranges and green and red, and it's just like such a vibrant, fun uniform, isn't it? It's just fun to look at and nice.
It's just spring.
yeah,
It's just nice. It's a nice uniform to look at.
Kelly's got that stoic look on his face. Like, I just want to know more about his character just from that photo.
I'm kind of glad you can't see my picture.
Yeah, slide over so we can see his photo.
yeah.
Hey there.
He's definitely got that commander. He's definitely got that commander. Like, hey, how's it going?
Yeah.
Commander Smooth.
Sometimes you just the character. You've heard a lot of actors say this: when you put the costume or the uniform on, the character comes alive. That's
Yeah.
about that.
That's terrifying.
That's one thing is easy. It's easy to fall into your character once you are in your costume. And, in my case, even putting on the prosthetics, I can kind of slip into and feel more of what my character's about. So it's fun. I'm an adult living a childhood's dream. So.
And I get to be a black Spielberg.
So
But
how
no,
did you guys? Oh, go ahead, Jason. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say, I'm used to doing this stuff with Eric a lot, and actually with Brian, I've had him on camera for commercials, and this is gonna be cool. Obviously I love directing because that's my thing, but seeing the costumes everyone get it together, especially as of late, it just looked right, and I can't wait to do more open shots where the group is together. Like there's a lot of stuff I want to do, a lot of cool. Y'all don't know. I don't know. I'm mad.
Well, I mean, Jason, from this past weekend, us filming episode 1, and you working with Brian Lessick, Brian Gregory, Brian Terranova. If I say
Not a
that
Brian.
wrong,
We
I
all
don't know.
we all look the same too, I bet, right?
Yeah, working with the other head writer with Brian Terranova. How did that feel? Like, how did it feel? Because like we went to do reshoots and everything, and how did that feel to get that episode in the can? And what did it feel like for you?
One, it was smoother. I mean, we've done multiple takes, we've done multiple shoots, where in the end, maybe I didn't like the lighting of how like the textures on the any of the costumes, any of the uniforms. Like I just didn't like how the light bounced off of them. Like, and you don't know these things until after, when you're doing things in post and you're like, this is really annoying. But now after seeing the textures of what we shot recently, I'm so much happier. And then working with Brian Terranova, because Brian Terranova was along with, I think, my very first Cartoon Network commercial along with Eric. And that was, we've always been cool. We've always clicked. And he's a director as well, but I'm taking the reins here. So you gotta listen to me. But it was cool having the head writer, like I was able to turn to him because, with lockdown and all that stuff, we couldn't do too much. But with him being right there, I could turn to him and go, give me what you were thinking when you wrote this specific scene. And then, because I've done storyboards for comics, movies, I've made comics, so I'm always given a script and then have to interpret it in some way, shape, or form. Sometimes it hits the mark, sometimes it doesn't. But having him right there was super convenient, awesome. When the time comes, I'm gonna drag Brian along. I want both Brians. I want to be covered in Brians. Hey,
I aim to please.
hey, you better aim right. Oh, that was terrible.
I can say for me. Oh, I'm sorry, Jason. Were you finished?
Yeah, no, real quick.
Yes, Jason is finished.
No. I haven't had my whiskey. No, go ahead. I want to hear from everybody.
Oh no, Jason. I was just going to say for me. So as a cosplayer, I'm used to acting out characters that I loved because I usually pick a character I love and I know them forever. I could do them like the back of my hand. JT, was fresh and I was learning her, and having Brian there and you there both to direct, to say, like, if I took a line and threw it, like, read it as it should come off like sassy, but Brian's like, no, I meant it as surprise. That helped me a lot in that way. And I think it made it for a better experience when we did the retake, having both you guys input on what he meant when he wrote the words and what you wanted to see on camera. I know as a first time actress in this capacity, that helped me a lot. And having Smoke there to feed the lines and to, act out the opposite role, because with COVID, we're doing, things a little differently. But that helped me as being one of the main characters on the first episode. So that was a great experience.
Well, let me ask a quick question. How many of you have I had to direct at some point? Like,
you did me in a commercial.
Yeah, I had you. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Magnus. Yeah. Well, man. All right. So I can't wait to yell at you, Kelly.
Oh, I'm just gonna be difficult to work with. I'm not being.
He's like, I'm the biggest teddy bear around, really.
No, and most of them will tell you. If I'm generally, as a director, I have my, like, a vision, and usually it aligns with the writing staff, because I try to compromise where we both get to express our ideals, and but at the same time, there's certain things from my experiences that I know may not make sense from a script to screen level, where we would have to make changes. We've done this with even angles, certain phrasing, timing. We did that with you, Jamila. We changed up your timing.
Yeah.
Magnus, we did that with you with certain dialogue, and it happens. Like it's never exactly. A lot of people think that when you get a script, you get a director, they just read it, copy paste, and it's done. It's a living creature that you kind of have to make sure you please everybody.
This is your polite way of saying you're going to change everything I wrote, huh? Yeah.
Perhaps.
Yeah.
From what I saw, it felt like a beautiful baby being born between you, Brian, and Eric, and I was just lucky enough to push it out. Like, it felt like
But I mean, I'm excited, and that's the whole thing that just excites me, because I mean, you know what to be able to pull out of us, and you know what to pull out of me to be able to tell the story that you're looking for. And I might have an idea in my head, and it could be just totally wrong. But I have to defer to you, because this is new for me. So you'll know what to pull out of me, and how to get what you're looking for to best tell the story. So I'm excited about that.
And remember, take after take after take, because it's going to be a million takes.
The key
regular Kubrick over here.
It's going to be molding on your personalities too. So the key thing is people don't realize we're fortunate enough to have a cast that the personalities don't collide, but more or less marry with your personality. Now, we're not saying it's going to be exactly the same thing, or the same person, but we get a gist of, okay, this is how the doctor's going to be, or this is how the navigator is going to be. We accentuate the personality, the best personality trait within who you are as an everyday person, and then we multiply that, and then that comes out your character for the series. So that's how I like looking at it. As I was writing, creating these characters, sitting down and plotting them out, and I'm like, okay, this is how I looked at each one of you. As soon as you said, yeah, I'm on board, I was like, okay. With Jo, because of all the stuff she does, I wanted to make her not a series regular, but a series supporting cast member to bring her back, because not all the time she can be there. So I'm like, okay, like maybe who knows, down the road in the seasons to come, she might become a series regular. But because of the overwhelming response that we have gotten from the pilot, and that's the other thing I want to touch on. What did you guys feel about being a part of something that clearly you see has been picking up a lot of steam, and not only that, the attention of the production staff and some of the stars of the Orville? How does it make you guys feel to be a part of something like this?
I don't think there's a word. I don't think there's just one word I could use, because excited isn't quite enough. Thrilled, maybe. It's cool, because when the Orville came out, we all hopefully either grew on us or we were there right at the beginning. But regardless, we're all here because we all love it, and it just felt it was just exciting when you came up with the original concept of it and you did a fan film, because fan films are nothing new, but it seemed like a perfect thing to just do a fan film on this property. And it's exciting to know that we're going to be related to basically one of the very first trendsetters for this franchise. It's just, I don't know, it's just exciting and thrilled. That's the words I'm going to go with.
It's very humbling, and like I was confused. Like, I'm sorry, what? Like when the producers like retweeted or like says great and like complimented us, I was like, what? Like, I didn't even know that they knew we were doing this. Yeah. So when you called me, I was like at KFC screaming at my fiance.
It's always better to be complimented than
what is happening? Now it sounds crazy when I say it out loud, but when it was happening, I was like, what is happening? Like, this is like, and then I just like sat there, like in the drive-through, kind of like head tilted and like, what?
Chicken getting cold.
Yeah, I mean, for my end, it was pretty cool getting like shout outs from like Jay Lee, giving like people just giving shout outs like on video, like pinking personalized shout outs to not only the crew, but like to me, me, Drake. Like I don't understand it. Like, and it's cool, it's like seeing the response online and on Twitter and stuff like that. Like it's different. I know it's been really tough for a lot of people in 2020, but I've been having a pretty banging year, so I'm just gonna sit here quietly.
So where do you guys hope to like take your characters? Like, what direction do you hope to take your characters?
Well, I hope, to take her beyond the ship. I hope she gets to relax allows herself to relax and have some fun and not just be a hard worker 100% of the time, which I know that's not what's in store, but I like to see her grow from worrying about the ship all the time to mingling with the cast a little more and stuff like that.
And
I think she's asking for me to write a spin-off series. That's what I got from that. She wants her
Or
own
at least
show.
her on a vacation. Like no engineering, just vacation. Like
Yeah.
pina colada.
JT on vacation.
Is there a Riza
surely show?
Yeah, right.
Brian, if you're shopping for ideas, I love my commander to not take 7 years to become a captain like Riker did. So.
Well, it all depends. How can you sit down on a chair? Can you kind of demo that for us?
I can do the Riker
Get out of
maneuver all day. I can do the Picard maneuver. I can do them both at once if you need me to, and I don't have laces on, so it's okay.
Nice.
So, as people who are we all attend Comic Cons and sci-fi cons and stuff. How do you think it's going to be? What do you think it's going to be like? Not only because it'll be coming right out of COVID and everything, but what do you think the fans are going to be how they're going to react to you guys playing, and how do you think that makes you guys? How do you think it's going to be? How do you guys going to feel about that? That we end up picking up a fan following and all. How do you guys feel about handling all that? Like how do you
honestly my hope for the whole situation is that we inspire other people to keep the community going. Like I hope that we inspire other people to try and do their own little shorts and little things. Like conventions for the meantime, are going to, even when they start opening up, not everybody's going to participate. They're going to be, I think, smaller, maybe not as abundant. But I think what the future is going to bring is all of us have all this passion, all this creativity. Like you said, Jamila mentioned it, we're all cosplayers, we all attend conventions, and that's a great outlet for our creativity. We haven't been able to do that this year, so I'm hoping that we inspire people. And now technology is at a point where technology is not the issue anymore. You don't have to try to do it with a camcorder and try to make it happen. Like software's out there, the video equipment's not that expensive. It's all good. It's all about channeling your creativity. So hopefully that's what I hope comes out of this project more than anything else.
So, I mean, who wants to, if you had an opportunity to have your idea episode, what would be your dream episode to have?
Can I take a shot at this one?
Let the writer have it.
You never know, you might end up filling up on
it. I got some ideas. Now, I think that what you want to do, I think anybody who's a writer, anybody who's an actor, anybody who's a director, they always want that one moment where you can look back and say, wow, I made people feel something that was really genuine. So it's not so much the overriding story aspect, not like a specific scenario per se, but I loved specific episodes of Star Trek that, really touched on something real. And I mean, there have been episodes of the Orville that have done that too, that just hit you out of nowhere. You're like, wow, that's super, super deep. And it stays with you and it makes you think. So that's the kind of writing I'd like to do. And I think that, with this talented crew, I know you guys can pull that stuff off. So yeah, anything that contains that really real moment. I mean, it can be a really funny moment, it can be a real serious moment, it can be a bit of both. But I think that that's really what you want to achieve. You want the audience to just have a mind-blowing moment.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. I like hearing that. What about you, Jason? Like the idea episode to direct.
I wanna do a horror. I wanna like all I keep thinking about is somehow wow, I almost said like
Well,
I
you
love
know what? They
murder.
kind of did that in the Orville. They kind of did that in the Orville one of the episodes. It was kind of like a horror one. That's not to say we
Episode
wouldn't,
10.
that's not to
first
say we
season.
wouldn't tap in and doing something along those lines and all. But Jason, let me ask you this: what do you feel? How do you feel about the executive producer, Tom Constantino, basically liking what we're doing and stuff? Like, how do you feel about the support we've been getting?
Shocked and amazed. The reason why is because most times when you work on any fan project, you don't get like the top dogs that are behind the actual product to say, "Hey, I'm loving what you're doing. Keep it up." You know, like pushing full, like excited to see what we can do. Usually, if you're lucky, they may acknowledge it. But a lot of franchises, if you're not directly connected in some way, like you got to connect, like that's my boy, like you're not gonna get those kind of shout outs. The fact that this was like a natural thing, like we did this short, and then next thing you know, execs are like, "Yo, this is kind of nice," and we're like, Yeah, that was the intention."
Well, that Orville Nation just asked, will there be a Halloween special?
That would be so fun.
That would be.
I can ask you this, Brian or Jason. Brian, you being a writer, one of our writers, what do you think about a Halloween special?
I would love that. I would love to write that. Are you serious? Because I'll jump on that tonight.
Yo,
I think that's a cool idea.
Didn't we already establish that Star Wars exists in the Orville? Like they know Star Wars as a franchise.
That's right.
And Doctor Who.
And Doctor
and the
Who,
Muppets.
and the
That's
Muppets.
right.
And
The
the
Muppets.
Muppets.
I want to do a slasher.
You can't dirty our pretty uniforms, Jason.
You know what? I don't want to give away too much. I don't want to give away too much ideas, but what I'm saying is basically, so the idea of doing a horror episode, or should I say a Halloween episode, would not, you guys would be up for doing that, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Absolutely.
Sure.
Yeah.
Favorite
So
holiday.
the crew's on the holodeck, and they're like, they're talking about like Earth customs, and one person says, "Hey, about Halloween, cool, let's try that out." And something goes awry, and they get caught, and they can't escape.
Wait. Why are we giving that away right now?
That's not my best idea. My best idea.
I actually have an idea, but I'm not gonna say it here on the live.
There you
No.
So my only question is, my one question is for a Halloween episode: does the alien die first? That's what I want.
But that depends on who the alien is.
Yeah.
Well, see, that's the thing. You know how it go in horror movies.
Wow, look at the time.
That's
Guys,
I'm just saying, like you carrying two things with you. You an alien too? Oh man, you might get caught in the credits. Like opening credits. Oh.
So if you had a chance to have someone show up on our show or be a special guest, it could be a dream idea guest star. Who would you want to make an appearance on a Planetary Step? If you had your way, if you had the strings to pull.
Yeah,
Well, I'm going to be
Not
biased
asking
because
this
That's a
question.
big question.
That is-
Adia, Shamar Moore's Adia? I don't know.
I have no idea.
Thanks, Shamar.
It would have to
Tomorrow
be.
we
It would
even-
have to be someone where you go, who or what was that? Because whoever it is, you shouldn't be able to recognize them right away if they're on the episode. That'd be too easy.
So
too
it could be a
easy.
voiceover. It could be them in
Anything.
costume. Yeah.
Oh, see, I'm sorry. I was looking at it the opposite way. I was going to use them as a marketing ploy. I wanted to put like somebody everybody knew. Like, you know,
That's what you do. You get somebody like Mark Hamill and then just like promo the hell out of it and then just kill him right before the credit scene. Give him like opening line. And
In the
he's-
Halloween season.
It's like such a throwaway part.
right?
Well, I'm going to be a little biased as security officer. I'd love to have an appearance by Alara Katan.
Oh yeah, that'd be awesome.
Or Michael
And-
Dorn.
Can I hand
That too.
Michaels to open?
That would work too.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome, actually. Make him. He's another security officer on another ship.
Yep.
Yo, I would want John Boyega and give him a good role.
Oh,
Yes.
too soon.
Yeah, I'm
Too
with
soon.
that.
Too
I'm with
soon.
that.
Yes.
Too soon.
Never too soon. Never too soon.
I said, look, we'll make you the president, the savior of the universe. We can do whatever you want. We can make you whoever you want to be.
We'll actually let you have your laser sword.
Yep.
And know how to use it.
You know,
And know how to use it.
and you'll have special kinetic powers. So, and you can do
You gotta get
whatever
him on
you wanna
speed
do.
dial right now.
But so one of the things that I wanted to ask you guys. So let me ask you this: if you had your way, what would you? Well, not had your way. What would you want to tell people that who are watching this that may want to think about doing a Orville fan film or any kind of film? I'm gonna go around the room. What advice would you give them?
Anybody jump in? I'll
We're gonna go around the room. All right, I'm gonna start off.
I
Magnus.
thought you were gonna call out names.
Yeah.
I was waiting my turn.
Magnus, what advice would you give?
Well, I say, if you have an idea and you have a passion for it, go for it. Whether if you don't have it looking exactly perfect or something like that, it's the passion of it, the passion behind it, I think, that makes the effort show. If you have a passion for Star Trek and you want to do a fan film, and you have good lawyers because of the legal issues, go for it. Orville, absolutely. As we've seen, they are very supportive. They love, seeing the creative passion that comes from their work, and you can get there. You can get costumes pretty easy nowadays, and like was mentioned earlier, you can do a lot with your cell phones and a couple of special effects programs, and just have at it, have fun. That's the key. Just do it.
I like what Orville Nation just said. They just threw a question. They said, "How about a time travel episode where the crew goes back to the 21st century and meets Seth MacFarlane?"
Yeah.
That's freaking awesome, actually.
Order, that's how he got the
That
idea for
is
the show.
freaking cool.
we have
I
Robert,
like it.
and we get Robert on that episode as a special guest. Do his hologram.
And they inspire him to create Family Guy in the Orville.
Yeah.
It's the ultimate retcon of retcons.
Oh my God.
Like he meets us and then goes, I have an idea.
Yeah.
Him like writing on a notepad.
Yeah, and
On
then,
love
a
it.
napkin.
it's like when
It's on a
Scotty. It's like Star Trek: New Voyage when Scotty makes that plexiglass, and he's like, "How do you know we didn't invent the thing?"
Yeah, exactly. There you go.
Hey, we could go back in 1984 when Seth did his first Star Trek fan film. Going back around the room, what advice would you give without saying bouncing off of anyone? Idea. What advice would you give to future filmmakers or people that are thinking about wanting to do Orville fan film or any film of that?
Have fun. At the core of everything, just simply have a lot of fun. I mean, there are times when you take certain things a little seriously, just common sense, general stuff, but just have fun, because when you have fun with things, with fanfic films or anything that you have a passion for, your imagination is able to grow and you're able to pull in more than you would have than if you were like, okay, here are the parameters and it has to be exactly like this or else. And it gets stagnant, and then people get really kind of stifled. The creativity gets stifled. So definitely, if they want to do a fanfic film with Orville or any other activity sci-fi related, go for it. This, the sky is the limit, basically.
William, what about you?
Well, I would say, without jumping on what anybody else said, I'd say if you're going to attempt like a project like this, where it'd be like a fan film series or just a fan film itself, I would recommend you have a bit of an idea, like a brainstorm of what it is that you want, the story you want to tell, basically. Like, know the story you want to tell. During like the quarantine and whatever, I've tried sitting down and doing my own little short stories, and I have crazy appreciation now for Terra Nova and Brian #2 over here, like for the fact that you guys create the stories that we're going to be telling, because I sat down thinking, oh, this is going to be easy. Like, I just want to tell a short little story, maybe 4 chapters, whatever. And Joe will tell you, like, I was frustrated because starting the story was easy and then getting to the middle, but how do I end my story was actually frustrating because I never really thought about it. And then depending on what you want to do, means, well, I want to tell the end this way, but I didn't think about it. So now I got to go back and restart my story and change up certain elements. So my suggestion would be like, you don't have to like have everything figured out, but know the story you want to tell, basically.
Okay. Jamila.
So a lot of people said stuff I would say, but to not repeat anything, I would say pick your crew and your cast as dedicated as you are. And now, it doesn't have to be like-minded, but people you can work with and mesh with well, because that would make it a more enjoyable experience and a more creative ones you could bounce ideas back and forth with, and that you could work with well, and it's more fun in that way, which is what Magnus and Adia already said. But
JT, what about you?
hey, JT.
I mean, said JT. Yeah, I'm already thinking of the show.
Yes.
What about you, Kelly?
Well, I would say, I kind of like what everybody said. So to try and come up with something a little different, like when it comes to your characters. And I think that if you incorporate some of your own life into your character, I think it's going to make that character come off more realistic. And I also think it's going to be something that the fans can connect to. And I think that just, don't take yourself too seriously either, and have some fun with it. Just have fun.
Okay. Now, let me ask you this, Joe. What about you?
I would say, don't be afraid to try something. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work, but at least and you tried. And if there will be people who hate things or like things, but as long as you love it and you've tried your best and put your heart and soul into it, and the people around you, your support system and your crew are with you, it's a team. Don't be afraid. Like, things you will learn from anything that you try, whether it's a good experience or a bad experience. It builds you and it builds your skills. So I would say just don't be afraid. I have bins full of costumes that were either mistakes or projects that never worked out, but it's a memory of either coming together with people, building a foundation, or trying something new and building my skills. So I would say don't be afraid. Just try.
Brian.
Get really good legal representation. Make sure that the craft services people remove the brown M&Ms from the bowl, and never smoke in bed. Those are important things to remember. No, I don't know. Look, I mean, why do we love these shows? Because they're fun. So have fun doing what you do. If you enjoy what you're doing, it reflects in the craft. How many times have we heard about really bad difficult movie shoots. And then when the product came out, you know, maybe it was lacking or something. So, you know, that energy really comes through. But I personally know the people involved in this, and everybody's super cool, super fun, very inclusive, very friendly, helpful. Everybody's out to help each other to do their best in these performances, in this directing. You know, and then they just deal with my writing. There's like, whatever, this guy, you know. But you know, they're very supportive. They're very they're able to look beyond my mistakes as a writer. So I don't know what I guess as a suggestion is have fun and enjoy the people you're doing it with. The more you know.
And can I throw out, you know, Smoke, which is what I learned from Smoke. Don't rush. If you're not happy with the product, don't feel like you have to rush and put out something. Put out what you want to put out, redo what you want to redo. And if you have to delay something, if you posted something online and you have to delay it, just post that, you know, you're delaying it so you can put the best possible product out there. And don't be
It
afraid.
worked for the Sonic movie.
Yeah, there you go.
It did.
Yeah, I mean, tell your story.
What about you, Jason?
Know that what you do is not going to be exactly what everyone expects. People, every single human has a different idea of what they want out of, especially a fan series. So you don't expect to please everybody. And there are going to be people who were like, oh, well, this is too serious. This sucks. Or this is too funny. I don't think you're taking it seriously. Just be nice to them because they know not what they do. And
that's the best advice.
You know, they can kick rocks because like we're you know, everyone does these things out of the love. Just because you love differently doesn't mean it's not love. So make sure you put your heart into it. That's it. I'm out.
Not literally. That would be gross.
Guys, we're gonna be ending this. I think you guys been on long enough to endure what I threw your way. I want to first give a special shout out to Orville Nation for showing their love and support. Egotastic Fun Time, the Orville family, the Orville fan community. Special shout out to all the people that support us from day one. Special shout out to the producers and cast of the Orville. And there's going to be so much more coming up, so much more new updates. We're going to be doing some more episodes of A Planetary Diary. I want to thank everyone that's tuning in. Hopefully you guys get a chance to catch the rebroadcast of this live Q&A that we did. There's going to be more coming up. So again, I want to thank everyone. I want to thank the cast and some of the crew that appeared tonight on this special edition of A Planetary Diary, which I like to think of it as. And stay tuned for a new episode next week. And what I always like to end my episode by saying, make every step you take a planetary one. Until then, guys, thank you all for tuning in, and we'll see you soon.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.